Food is wonderful. Food with a story is even better. I came to learn that food with a story that people haven't heard about is best of all. And if I can relate that story that you haven't heard about to something that you do recall and can remember and can relate to, that's the best thing that I can possibly do. So I find myself sitting in this art history room in the dark, looking at a slide of a 19th century painting on the first day of my sophomore year at Vassar College in Poughkeepsie, New York. And I remember the teacher, Mrs. Koretsky, put up a 17th century Flemish painting of a young woman at a window. There's a table next to her, there's a fruit bowl, there's a chair. Through the window you can see a couple boats bobbing in the water, and that's it. It's a very, very simple portrait. And, you know, day one, Art History 101, really famous professor, and she says, everyone write down the things you see in that picture. And everyone got the 12 objects that were in there. I mean, I guess some less bright people maybe got 11 and missed the dog. I was probably one of them. I probably only got about 10 of them, probably. But, you know, it was a cute exercise, and, you know, we all laughed. At least the snotty kids in the back of the classroom laughed. That was me. And Mrs. Koretsky then listed those things and then spent the next half hour after that first minute of her running through what she observed, object-wise, in an almost Sherlock Holmes-like presentation of what she could tell about 17th century Flemish life just by analyzing those 11 or 12 things that she saw. I was spellbound. I mean, literally, it was like watching a great Sherlock Holmes movie. You just couldn't believe, or someone solving an Agatha Christie closed room murder mystery. I mean, you're just flummoxed, and then Hercule Poirot or Miss Marple comes in and says, no, 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 that guy did it, and here's why. I didn't notice that in the fruit bowl was a banana, and didn't connect that bananas don't grow in Holland. And that implied that this family was of means, and started to dissect not just this woman, but what she was wearing, and the type of pattern in her shawl, and how that pattern in her shawl had Asian design motifs in it, so it had to come from trading. So her family was going south for bananas, right, into northern Africa, or the southernmost part of the boot of Sicily, or Spain. They had boats that were coming to and fro to bring those fruits ripe, right? We didn't have gas-controlled, refrigerated environments. They were trading in Asia. And I was just mesmerized. And a light bulb went off in my head that said I could do the same thing with food. Because I'd seen my father pick up plates of food in other countries and tell me the history of a people in a bowl of soup. And you can do that with food. There's nothing else that replaces that. None of the other commonalities have the power and the hold over us that food has, my friend. If you eat week-old rotted pork that's just left out, it can kill you. I mean, literally. The tribal peoples of the mountains of central Taiwan have a dish called damamane, which is a certain part of the pork belly cut into strips. They roll it in cheesecloth with cooked rice, and they stuff it in a jar and let it sit out at room temperature. If you eat it a week or so into its process, it will kill you, because under pressure, it nearly develops a strain of bacteria that's very close to botulism, which, by the way, can't be killed by anything else. It will exist. You know, botulism lives on after the nuclear explosion, not cockroaches. But the bad bacteria gets eaten by the good bacteria after about 3 weeks, and at 4 weeks, it's definitely safe to eat, and so they serve it in all of its spoiled glory. They rinse it and serve it on ice, these raw strips of pork belly. Stuff like that is almost impossible to get up to your mouth, and your gag reflex engages. Once it's in, you want to spit it out because your brain tells you, if you swallow this, you will die. And that is a genetically encoded message that is there to help preserve us, right? I mean, the whole Darwinian, the thing with, the guy that, pees on the downed electrical line, and we get rid of the stupid ones, the Darwinian selection there, we have this message that you have to train yourself, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. That message, by the way, is one that exists here in the West, not in other parts of the world. So those are the